Hi, Jonathan Hobbs here, developer of the Hobbs Masters Needling series and the chairman of the AACP in the UK. One of the things I want to talk to you today about is the idea of thinking of needling like exercise. Now, when it comes to exercise, what we can have is different prescriptions depending on how somebody is. So, if we're talking about exercise, that's a very, very broad term, and we could be talking about rehabilitation of an injury to flexor carpi ulnaris, and we could be talking about metabolic training, flipping tractor tires. They're two very different types of exercise, and to get from one to the other is a huge progression. Now, one of the things I find clinically is when practitioners are using any form of needling, they tend to have one certain set idea about how they're going to use that. It could be a trigger point pistoning style, it could be a insert the needle rotationary, mechanical transduction de chi type style, but they tend to fix on one certain style or perhaps maybe one or two techniques. And what I'll challenge you to think about is the idea that acupuncture or dry needling can be thought of like exercise and exercise prescription. So we have different mechanisms that occur when we insert a needle. We have local inflammatory responses, we have local analgesic responses, we have myofascial change, we have segmental responses, and we have central effects. And depending on the state of the pathology or the state of the condition or the point we are in rehab, we can use our acupuncture and needling in lots of different ways. So if we take examples of an injury that's recovering, we could use the needling initially for the central effects to reduce down pain or help with sleep and recovery. We can use it then for local responses to reduce down pain and swelling. We can also use it for myofascial change to help with myofascial mechanical dysfunctions that occurred in that area, and we can use it for segmental analgesia as well to reduce down pain in that area. And so there are lots of different ways we can use it. And so when we're thinking about the progression of a condition or the deterioration of a condition, in fact, we want to think about our exercise prescription and our acupuncture prescription in very, very similar ways, that we address the condition as we see in front of us. We don't just apply the same technique over and over again. We don't want to end up being a clinician with a modality in search of a pathology. We want to see that pathology for what it is, look at those key components and how that affects the problem and dysfunctions that come from that, and how and whether we can use needling to address those. If we can, we will, to get better outcomes. If it's not appropriate, we won't. And that's how we want to clinically reason and perhaps think about acupuncture prescription like exercise prescription. We'll talk more about these things later. I look forward to catching up with you again soon, and I look forward to catching up with you on a course where we can talk about these things in greater detail and apply them clinically. So for now, take care and best practice.